It's no secret flying can be stressful, from high prices to delays, lost bags, even canceled flights. But in this week's Know the Law segment, Tom Sinas is here to talk about the rights you have as a passenger that you may not even know you have.
Many people call these the Passenger's Bill of Rights, and it comes from a 2011 set of rules issued by the federal government. And it gives all airlines passengers basic rights in basic areas. So let me list.
Well, it's no secret flying can be stressful, from high prices to delays, lost bags, even canceled flights. But in this week's Know the Law segment, Tom Sinas is here to talk about the rights you have as a passenger that you may not even know you have.
Many people call these the Passenger's Bill of Rights, and it comes from a 2011 set of rules issued by the federal government. And it gives all airlines passengers basic rights in basic areas. So let me list a few of the most important ones. You have the right for the price you see to be the price you pay. That is, to know exactly what you're buying for each item on your airline ticket and each additional fee. You have rights if you are bumped from a flight. You have rights if your flight is canceled or you're subject to what's called substantial delay. You have rights if your airline is stuck on the tarmac.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and you have rights if your luggage is lost.
How many people have been sitting on a plane on the tarmac for hours?
And you know, it's such a good point, Christian. It really was a few instances back in maybe about 4 or 5 years ago where you heard about these horrific tarmac delays that really put into motion a lot of these passenger Bill of Rights. So let's talk about, well, what compensation or what redress do you have if your rights are violated? All right, when it comes to bumping, if you're bumped off a flight, if an airline can get you to where you were supposed to go within an hour, then there is no compensation. If it's going to take them between an hour and 2 hours, they owe you up to 200%, that is 2 times the price of a one-way ticket. And if it takes more than 2 hours, they owe you up to 4 times as much of a one-way ticket.
So if you're not in a hurry, you can actually make some pretty good, tickets.
That's true, but you have to be bumped. Okay, there's a difference between being bumped and electing a voucher to go on a later flight. What about if your flight is canceled or you're subject to what's called a substantial delay? Well, you have the right to be rerouted, or you have the right to a refund of your ticket, even if you purchased a non-refundable ticket. What about lost luggage? Luggage doesn't show up, guess what? We all pay every bag. So now the rule is you don't get a voucher for your next set of luggage. You actually get, you're entitled to be reimbursed for what you paid to have that luggage on the airplane. So those are your rights for compensation. What about the tarmac? Because you mentioned the tarmac. Well, you don't have a right to be compensated personally, but the airline can be subject to some pretty substantial fines if they don't honor your tarmac rights.
Can you demand to be let off a plane if it's sitting out there for more than an hour? That's what I heard early on. Was one of the situations was people saying, we got to get off this plane. The bathrooms are, clogged up and there's nothing to eat. And
they cannot keep you on a domestic flight for more than 3 hours or an international flight for more than 4 hours.
There you go.
And if they do, during that period of time, they got to give you access to food, water, and a bathroom. We've heard stories where that didn't happen. So now there's some architecture around the rights that exist when you're on the tarmac. So what do you do? How do you enforce these rights? Well, it's no surprise that you got to be your own advocate. Right? You got to start the process. If you feel like you've been a victim of this, you got to start advocating immediately with the airline.
So speak up.
Speak up at the desk. If you're not getting attention there, speak up at a supervisor level. If you need to speak up even louder, you can go all the way to the Federal Aviation Administration.
And on a side note, be nice, because it works much better than if you're just that irate guy at the counter yelling and screaming at everybody.
It's so good to hear you say that. I practice law where a lot of other people that I practice with believe in that, and some don't. It always does help to be nice.
And if somebody has a legal question, they have been charged with something, or they want to know something about the law, they can give you a call.
They sure can. Grand Rapids, 616-301-3333, online at www.sinasdramis.com, or send us an email at info@sinasdramis.com.
Tom, thanks for stopping by. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.